What is going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub, and this is K-Dub's High Five. 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today it's one of the Twitter hobby favorites. She served in the US Navy. She's a giant Cowboys fan. She's one of my favorite followers on Twitter. Great content, great personality, except she roots for the Cowboys. Welcome, my good friend, Yasmin Soto, AKA at Texas Yaz12 on Twitter. How are you doing?
I am doing good. It's Friday, so gotta be good.
Heck yes, got to get down on Friday. Anyways, how this works, I got 5 questions. I'm going to throw them at you one right after another, all hobby related. You ready to take on the high five?
Let's go.
All right. Your Twitter handle is at Texas Yaz12. It's always fun to learn. How did you come up with that as your Twitter handle?
I don't think this is a fun story. Great, great state of Texas. Yaz is just a nickname I've always kind of had throughout my life. It's easier than my name for most, my full name for most.
Yeah.
And 12 is my lucky number. So there we go. Texas Yaz 12.
So how did 12 become your lucky number though?
I think I like even numbers. It's a middle number, not too high, not too low.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with it. I mean, I've never had bad luck with it.
Fair enough. Can't go wrong then. I love it. All
Yep.
right. I know that you're super involved in the hobby. Love what you do on Twitter. Can you kind of share some of your kind of biggest influences when it comes to your personal hobby journey, personal collecting?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people kind of got back into it a little bit before COVID. I was taking a break between undergrad and grad school and took some time off of work and went over to my parents' house, went through the attic, found all my old cards, and it just kind of brought it all back. Of course, my dad's the biggest fan of sports out there, and shout out to Papa Soto for getting me into sports from the beginning and starting this fiend. So I think my dad was always just my biggest influence just with sports in general. He's a pretty big collector of just everything in general sports. So I think without doing it on purpose, he kind of instilled that into me, and then here we are. It just kind of blew up from there.
Love it. So did your dad collect cards then?
He does. It was really funny. Well, not actively. I think he always had them just throughout life. He's got ticket stubs. He used to work as a kid back at Cowboy Stadium back in the day, and he collected just a lot of stuff over his years. So he's a big nostalgia guy, I guess you could say.
Yep.
He had all the good memories of the Cowboys, so I mean, I guess good on him. I didn't get those yet. So I think I would always see him collecting stuff like that, and it obviously was personal to me to want to kind of have that with him. So he's got his little sports room in his front room of the office with helmets and footballs, and so he does have cards. Obviously, like how people take care of them now compared to maybe 20-30 years ago, for a lot of people wasn't the same. So he's brought some cards to me that he's had, and they're just tore up. And I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it was cute to see me getting back into cards, and he'd be like, oh, I have this, and I didn't have the heart to tell him like these are destroyed, but I'm like, yeah, these are cool. So,
oh, right on. Well, let's talk about cards. For you and your collecting, is there a grail card out there for you, or a card in your collection that when you got it, it was like, this is it, the only card I need in my life? And why do you want that card, or why did that card matter so much to you?
So, I mean, I think no one's going to be surprised by this, but my grail card is definitely the Juan Soto first Bowman auto.
Okay.
Base, refractor, I don't care, just one of them, graded, raw, doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, so my dad's name, in case nobody knew, my dad's name is Juan Soto. Okay. I am not the Juan Soto's daughter. He's a little too young to be my dad.
Different one.
Different one. So that's just a grail card, right? Like it's the epitome of him. You say Juan Soto, that's what you think. So that's got to be. We'll get there one day.
Football
wise, I mean, looking at a Lamb Kaboom, I think that would be a card that I'd be
Heck
like,
yeah.
oh, this completes it. But I don't know. I think there's a lot behind my personal cards, right? So many people have helped me get so many cool different cards,
Absolutely.
numbered autos, whatever the case is. And while they're, think Grail can be a lot of different things,
Yeah,
they have a lot of personal meaning just with the people who helped me get them.
absolutely.
So I think that means more to me than, you know, that's the meaning behind them for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Cards
Yeah.
with stories are my favorite.
Yes.
That somebody or somebody's thought enough of you to get those cards in your collection. I mean, those mean a lot
Yeah.
more than the big hits or whatever it is.
I'd say the coolest cards that I have all have, I can tell you who gave it to me and,
Yep.
the conversation that I had with them, whether they, you know, gave me the price ahead of someone else or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Like there was a relationship built, even if it was for a brief amount of time. And I think that meant a lot to me that, like you said, someone thought of me
Yep.
to make it happen because they knew it was going to go to a good home. I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk product. You got all the money in the world. You can rip any product you want. What product are you ripping and why?
I think I gotta say the 2016 Bowman to chase. Oh my gosh, I mean that would be phenomenal, right? Like to rip the packs to get the card. So I think that would be probably the one and only thing I would go after if money wasn't an issue. Just opening all those packs.
Oh, heck yeah. And I think there's just something about pulling it yourself that just it changes everything in the card. I mean, I got
Yeah,
cards in my collection that I've held on to since 1995 because I pulled them, and
yeah.
I don't know, it's just there's something special about pulling your own PC cards. So,
Yeah, I mean, so it's not a PC card, but everybody wants to pull a downtown or a kaboom or whatever. And
yeah.
so I pulled a downtown. It was a Minshew,
Oh,
which
hey, come on now.
well, okay, so I kept it obviously, but mainly because what I never really paid attention was the background has the naval ship with
Oh,
the
yeah.
sailors on it, and I was like, okay, that's actually really cool. I pulled it. I gotta keep it. At
Yep.
least there's some sentiment to it,
Absolutely.
than with that behind it.
Absolutely. All right, I got one more question here, and I love kind of hearing people's different perspectives. But the thing I appreciate about this is the female perspective that comes in here. Obviously, being a female in the hobby is different than being a male in the hobby.
Yeah.
If you were to kind of talk with a female who was new to the hobby, kind of what is some advice that you would give their way, some wisdom that you might throw at them as far as the female perspective getting into the hobby?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of between the military and then, what my degrees in and stuff, I've always kind of been around a lot of dudes. So y'all are easier to maintain when you kind of just, brush off, stupid stuff or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the best piece of advice is, I mean, just really be yourself, like I came in just this world that I never knew existed when I came onto Twitter
Mhm.
and was completely welcomed with open arms by literally everyone that I came across,
Yeah.
which was, 95% dudes. So just, I don't say that very often. So, and I was just genuine to myself. I talked about what I liked, whether, it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever the case is. There's a lot more commonness in here than people give credit for, whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. If you both like the same player or the same team or,
Absolutely.
so best piece of advice, be yourself. There's 9 times out of 10 more good guys than bad.
Yeah.
Or or ladies. Some people might have problems with some ladies. I don't know.
Yeah.
So while there's the the stuff that is kind of cringy out there, every single time I've ever seen it, there are 100 dudes coming to the table being like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
that's not cool, that's not right. So I mean, I know for myself, I appreciate it. I don't tend to try to get involved with a lot of stuff that goes on in Twitter with that, but it is nice to see that a lot of all these guys have your back.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't have to try to look at it so much as, oh, there's 100 dudes and 2 girls, or you know, whatever the case is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, I got bonus question because we got
Right.
about your Cowboys, and
We don't have to, but
it's just simple. Like, is there any hope in Dallas?
there's been no hope here for like 26 years. You know, we can hope. That's all I can. That's all I can say. That's why you don't see me talking trash. That's why you don't say anything. I just got to sit here and watch and see what happens. It's painful. I'll tell you, I'm the first one to make a joke though, and I'll be the first one to share a meme, just because you got to laugh at it, because you can't, I got too much other pain to take on in the world.
Absolutely.
Aside from Jerry Jones and what he does to the city. So we'll see. I'll stay a little reserved, but
all right.
My hopes are never too high. We'll just say that.
Fair enough. What
is it? Expect the best, but hope for, or no, expect the worst, but hope for the best.
There it is.
So we'll go with that.
I can completely relate. So I'm with you. So
I know you can relate.
Hey, that's all we got. We got a high five at the end of K-Dub's high five. I appreciate you doing it so much. You can check out Yaz on Twitter at TexasYaz12. Also, if you're bored, you can click follow on me at Mr. K-Dub. Always remember, be the good in the world, and we'll see you guys next time on the next high five.
This is a demo sound of freeintromusic.com.